Wow, I am looking like a hot mess today. Before I start this video, you guys, I just want to quickly say, oh my God, we're almost at 500 subscribers. I'm so excited. I know I promised y'all a different conspiracy video every single week, and I'm so sorry that I have not been able to perform that. There's been a lot going on. My son has been doing ABA therapy. He finally got accepted. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Also, I want to quickly say, I have been really thinking about it, and since my channel has been growing, I really want to give back and I guess raising money for a foundation, and I've really thought about the foundation that I want to raise money for, and I think that that foundation is Thorn. If you've never heard of Thorn before, it is a foundation that was created by Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore, and what they do is that they use cutting edge technology to not only identify but help save missing and exploited children. And, you know, we could put on Facebook all day long, hashtag save our children, but really the way to do it is to donate to foundations like these, where they work so hard using the newest technology, using every bit of resources that they have, and they have saved so many lives already. And I really want to be a part of that. I know that last year or the year before, I raised money for suicide prevention hotline. We raised almost $300. So if we could do that back whenever I barely had any followers or subscribers, imagine what we could do now. And I really want to be a part of that. So if y'all are interested in that, or if y'all are interested in doing anything like that, or you think that that's a good idea, or you have a different foundation that you think would be a better fit, tell me in the comments down below what you guys think. Okay guys, let's start the video. Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I am Sharpa Westmoreland, the Short Big Videos, and today we are going to be talking about companies that want to do weird shit with your DNA. The other day I was watching Ryan Upchurch do a video where he did question and answers, like we ask a question and he answers them. Somebody asked him, what is your ethnicity? And he replied with, well, I'm going to be spitting in a tube soon and sending it off to a lab. And as soon as I heard this, I was like, no, don't do it. But, you know, he's a grown adult. He can do what he wants. But I really want to tell you guys why it's a bad idea to send off your DNA to companies like 23andMe. These DNA analysis companies, they're bad. Don't do it. So my mom received one of these packages in the mail as a birthday gift. And I really thought they were really cool. But then I saw the price tag of it, and as somebody that's like done a lot of research on DNA and like on the process of DNA, just because I've always been interested in it, you know, it can tell you a lot. It can tell you way more than just where you come from or who your family is. It can tell you all kinds of stuff like what kind of diseases you're more susceptible to getting, like heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, all that kind of shit, right? Well, I saw the price tag of this kit, and it was like $60. And in my mind, I know how much DNA analysis costs. Like, even just a paternity test can range anywhere between $200 to $500. So I'm like, how is it that this company is making any type of profit if their kits are anywhere between $60 to $200? There's no room for profit there. So you guys know me. I can't leave shit alone. And I started doing some digging. And what I found is absolutely disturbing. Put on your tinfoil hats because shit's about to get real. As you get older, you're going to apply for things like health insurance or life insurance. And these tests that you send in to 23andMe and stuff can actually tell you things that you're more susceptible to getting based off your whole family history, based off your DNA. So things like Alzheimer's, diabetes, heart disease, that's all things that you could possibly get. These are all things that they can test for, which is good, but also really bad if you are somebody that's trying to get health insurance and you want to pay for it yourself, or somebody that's trying to get life insurance and you got to pay for it. On these packets, and I noticed this last year whenever I was filling it out for my work, on these packets, they actually ask you, have you ever had any DNA testing done or any DNA analysis done with these companies? And, you know, if you haven't, you just put no. But if you have, they ask you what kind of analysis you got done. Did you do anything for health? And if you did, they'll ask you, okay, what did you find out? And you're supposed to put down what you found out. but they will literally go to that company, buy your DNA, literally buy it from that company, buy a portion of your DNA, because they're not going to sell the whole thing, buy a portion of your DNA and test it themselves. And based off that information, they can make your monthly payment higher or lower. Like, you could be a perfectly healthy adult, not smoke, not drink, no sign of any type of anything, and they can make it higher based off of your family history. This is not firsthand mom and dad family history. This is your whole family history based off your DNA. I feel like that's really shitty. I feel like it's really kind of crappy that that company can do that. But this is the thing, you know, these companies are making money off of selling your personal information, a piece of you. You are literally paying a company to own your DNA and sell it off to other companies, like the insurance companies or like the life insurance companies. Like, they literally can buy your DNA, test it themselves, and say, hey man, you're going to have Alzheimer's, or like, you're more susceptible to getting Alzheimer's. So, you gotta pay more, which is really shitty. They have deals set up with other companies. So they're not making money off of selling these kits. They are making money off of selling a piece of you, a piece of your DNA. So someone like Ryan Upchurch, if he were to send that in, we all know that he has asthma and all that stuff, right? So companies that make medication can also buy off information, not necessarily just the DNA itself, but information. And they will ask, hey, everybody that has asthma, can you send us a list of everyone that has asthma? And they will. Next thing you know, Ryan Upchurch is getting a shit ton of emails about asthma medication. Try out our new asthma medication, blah, 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 blah. If someone like me were to send it in, you know, I have mental health issues. I have issues with depression and things like that. I would be getting a bunch of emails about new antidepressants. Not only are they selling DNA to companies like the insurance companies or the companies that are making medicine, but that also rolls into the companies that are doing weird shit with your DNA, like actually testing it and actually doing experiments on it. There is a company called CloneAid, and if you've never heard of CloneAid before, look it up. They claim to be the very first company to make human clones. Like, they claim that they have literally made and created a human clone, you guys. Like, they never gave any real proof of it. They say it's to protect the identity of the clone, and I want to be like, no. Well, they have deals with these companies. You are paying another company to own your DNA and send it off to companies like this called CloneAid, where they will literally experiment on your DNA without your consent. These companies will literally sit there and just play with your DNA, do whatever the fuck they want to it. Now, there are companies out there like the 23andMe companies that claim that, you know, you can opt out a further analysis of your DNA, but they don't have to give you any type of proof that says that they did this. You know, they don't have to give you any type of proof that says that it's been destroyed. So what they basically do is that they take your DNA, they freeze it, and they keep it in a freezer for forever. Like, they don't ever do anything with it. They just supposedly keep it there, but if they're making money, it doesn't affect them. They're going to sell and make their money. They're going to do whatever they want. And trying to legally obtain your DNA after you send it in is such a hard process, you guys. It is nearly impossible to get your DNA back, which you think would be super easy, but it's not, because you literally bought the kit. So after you buy the kit and you send it in, that you're done. It's a done deal. It's like selling your soul to the devil. There is no take back seats. You know what I mean? Not only are companies like CloneAid buying your DNA, like, they have a whole contract. He literally will sit there and continue buying DNA, but they're buying it in bulk. So you could have a whole clone walking around looking and talking like you. Oh, that's scary. That's scary. I don't like that. Imagine if, like, famous people were to send in their DNA. I'm assuming that they would want to have DNA of very successful people to clone. Like somebody like Ryan Upchurch, he's extremely successful. He runs his own business. He runs himself. He, has it all figured out. And he continues to grow. So someone like him, they would probably be like, yeah, I want his DNA. Let me clone him. I mean, weirder shit has happened in the world. They're also selling DNA to the police force. This is how they are actually solving cold cases, which is good, I feel like, but also really bad. Because, one, if there was not enough evidence to collect your DNA the first time around, now they could just literally go and buy your DNA to prove that you did something. And I feel like that's just kind of a really big loophole in the justice system, because DNA is usually accepted relatively no matter how it's gotten. So if it's not collected in a ethical way, it could still be accepted as a form of proof that you committed a crime. But think about if this were to fall into the wrong hands. If you had a dirty cop or a dirty scientist that just buys your DNA, you could be planted anywhere at any time, making it look like you committed a crime when you didn't. If it's going to be used for good, you know that somebody's going to try to use it for evil later. There's good intentions with it, but I feel like there's just way more room for error here, because if they, switched out the vials or they mislabeled something, which big companies usually do, think about if they really did commit a crime and they were like, oh, no, it was not a match. That person would be ruled out forever. Instead of obtaining it the correct way, instead of obtaining it the way that it's supposed to be obtained, they're just buying the DNA, which there's plenty of room for error regardless on how advanced their company is, regardless on how detailed their company is. I make fucking mistakes at work every single day, and I feel like I'm pretty damn good at my job. I've been doing it for 3 years. So think about a company that gets in DNA after DNA after DNA after DNA every single day. Do you really think that they can keep track of every little thing? Probably not. The fact that they can sell it to the justice system, the system that's supposed to do things the correct way, but typically does not to mention that there's plenty of dirty folks in the justice system. Let's get real on that. They can make it look like you committed a crime when you didn't. How terrifying is that? So I'm sure that you guys have heard about the aging process. How people have been trying basically since the beginning of time to reverse the aging process. People have tried to find the fountain of youth. They've tried to do all types of things in order to reverse the aging process. Now, this is something that people honestly believe that we'll see in our lifetime. So these companies are trying to market toward the younger generation. Now, they're not doing it just because you don't know where you come from. They're doing it because if they can store your DNA and say that this technology is actually found where you can reverse the aging process, they have a sample of your DNA from when you were young. So what do you think is going to happen? You're going to have to buy your DNA back from that company in order to get the process done, reverse the aging process. They're smart. They're smart as fuck, bro. Anyway, you guys, this is an absolute roller coaster. If you guys know anything else about the DNA analysis process, or you think I missed something, or you want to add something to that, feel free to do so in the comments. I love reading your comments, you guys. Please, please, please do not send in your DNA. I mean, if you want to, you can. That's totally up to you. But just know, once you do, that company owns your DNA. So they own a piece of you. Not good. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you get notifications every single time that I post, because I know that you don't want to miss none of this. Yeah. My awkwardness. Y'all missed it, right? Anyway, So don't forget to join me next Thursday, where I will be talking about how 15% of the world's population is probably an alien-human hybrid. Yeah, it's fun. I swear to God, I'm not crazy. I just like to do a lot of research on stuff. Okay, guys, bye.